It's a reminder that this Saturday talkSPORT brings you live commentary of the undisputed world heavyweight title fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois from Wembley Stadium. And we can look ahead to that fight now because we're delighted to be joined in the studio by a British heavyweight and one of our favourites, the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher. Johnny, good to see you.
Johnny, good to see you, Andy. Good to see you, Jason.
How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Nice to be back up here and
lovely.
In a slightly different setting, but nice to be here.
What do you make of the what would you call this bunker?
It's a bunker. It's very intimate. I just said to you off air. It reminds me of them videos you put up the other day when you was in the old place. But
yeah,
it doesn't matter. Got two gentlemen next to me. So.
Oh, that's very kind.
Thanks for
It's
coming.
very rare that you can go into a radio studio and have one of the presenters fixing the mic to make sure it works before we go on.
You got to be a chameleon and be able to do any task that's put out.
I have. Yeah. Just don't touch it because it will fall. We've got lots to talk to you about, right? We're going to talk to you about the fight in a moment, but we should start by saying this is the first time you've spoken to us here at talkSPORT for a long while. I know your dad hasn't been too happy with some of the coverage you received from some of our pundits. Let's just remind ourselves briefly of what's gone on since that first fight you had against Dave Allen.
Johnny the Romford Bull Fisher! Hoots of derision from
Not
the crowd.
surprisingly, Mr. John Rawling, that is a disgraceful decision. There's no way that the first 4 rounds were Johnny Fisher's. The 5th round was clearly a 10-8, and then after that, Dave Allen did the better work in almost every round. I do not see those scores being fair, I'm afraid.
Listen, them scores are diabolical.
The one thing I have, Coogan, is it's not even people going over the top that you don't know. It's when you have people going over the top that you do know, that you think are sort of semi-friends. That's what got me. I lived my life, my whole life, by loyalty. And the way certain people acted, to me, it unnerved me. When you've come in here and shared a meal, we shared more than one meal with Spencer and Gareth and act like that, and you think they're your sort of friends. You know, just the way they went over the top. But I haven't got a problem with anyone's opinion. And if that's how they have to go about their life, they're welcome to it.
Firstly, how is your dad, Big John? Is he all right?
Big John's all right. Yeah,
Good,
he's
okay.
good. He's working, grafting in a different way that he's used to from before. But yeah,
I was with him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you said he saw you
at the races down
at
at
the races,
Sandown.
yeah, and you said that you couldn't really see him at first, which was quite surprising.
No, do you know what? Right, no, I didn't know he was in the room until he come walking on. Going, oh my
That's
God,
amazing.
I know this boy.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Who's saying Bosch?
Quite a
Really
distinctive figure, yeah.
How do you feel when you look back at the sort of aftermath, the commentary from Gareth A. Davies and Spencer Oliver? How do you feel now when you look back at it? Because at the time it was quite raw, right?
For my family and things, it was quite raw. But honestly, Andy, it's not really raw for me. It wasn't raw at the time, and it's not really changed how I feel. I think people are entitled to their opinions. I don't agree with the opinion that it was just contradictory the way it was. Like, it's diabolical, the decision, and then in the next sentence it goes to say it could have been one round either way. But we spoke about this for so long. We've had another fight now and I've been knocked out in it, so it's sort of like it doesn't really matter anyway. I was with Dave last week in Manchester, and yeah, he said the same thing, that it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. But sometimes I do feel that journalists, people watching the sport, they've got to put a narrative or get a click, and that was what Gareth and Spencer done. But nothing changes the fact it was a close fight, the first one, and the second fight I've been well and truly beat. So that's the only things that matter.
Do you think it should make a difference if people that are giving their view are close friends of yours? Does that make a difference to you?
It makes a difference if you with the hyperbole. I think that makes a difference. It does, yeah, it does in a way. If you're going to be,
why does it make a difference? Should they remain impartial when they're giving their view?
No. I've misread. I've misspoke a bit there, because I think that it's not about the impartiality. My problem is with what they've said just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Is it the language that was used?
It's the fact that it doesn't make sense.
Do you not think also, though, the fact that the ringside has just happened, that sometimes, and I think we're all guilty of it.
Certainly football, yeah.
It's football. There is a knee-jerk reaction that can come out, and sometimes you say things, and when you're away from the atmosphere and away from it, and give yourself a bit of time, that maybe the words they'll choose would be different.
Maybe, but what I don't understand is I can't put up the first sentence is diabolical, it's a robbery decision, and in the next sentence they're saying it's one round to Dave Allen. That's just something that
But does it
make
hurt
sense.
more because they're friends of yours?
Not really, no. It doesn't hurt me. I can see why it would hurt my dad looking out for his son. And I think that's what is really playing on his mind. He's thinking about his son. Because I think about if someone was saying that about my son, he's been in a close, tough fight, a very tough fight, and he's got the decision. It could have gone either way, which he'd admitted. But if I saw my son, and I can see why that could be have a bit more of an emotional response to that.
I don't want to dwell on it too much. We'll move on. But just quickly, are they on speaking terms, your dad and Gareth?
No, I don't think they have spoken. But listen, if I see Gareth or Spencer, I'm not going to not shake both of them men's hands, especially Spencer, what he's done in boxing.
Do you think your dad will?
Yeah, I think he would. Okay. I think he would. But I just think once you cross the line with my dad, I'm talking for my dad here, he's got his own opinions and own thoughts. But
looking out for his little boy, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's like looking out for his boy, and I can see why he has a problem with what they said.
Well, if it's any consolation, me and Jay we both thought you won
10 rounds.
Yeah, 15 rounds I did down. 15.
Yeah. But listen, in my mind, it doesn't hold much weight. I feel like it's been blown up a little bit by my dad's reaction, by the way that they went overboard. They did go overboard with it, but in my mind, it's a boxing match. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them, sometimes they're close.
Let's talk about the second fight, right? Because in the first fight, I'll be honest with you, I thought you lost the first fight. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. I thought I won rounds 1 to 4, lost 5. And I thought I won round 10 as well, so I think it was 1 round to me. But
I'm not going to fall out with you, Johnny.
No, but I can have anyone's opinion. I've had people come up to me and think that I've lost it as well.
But my point is...
It's the way of going, it's a diabolical decision, and then saying it's 1 round the other way, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, it was incredibly close, but I genuinely thought you lost it. But of course, we didn't have to make that call in the second fight because, sadly for you, got knocked out. I was really stunned at how the second fight finished. Why did that happen to you? Were you not prepared? Was he just better than you thought in the second fight? What happened? What went wrong?
I think what went wrong is quite a few things, and it's down to me as a professional boxer. I think you have to take full ownership of things that went wrong or things that you could have done better. I don't think I boxed with a game plan that was great or suits me the best. I probably tried to change too many things from the first fight as an overreaction, thinking right now I've got to box and stay out of trouble. Whereas in the first fight, the thing that kept me in it was probably the fact that I was super fit and I was wearing the other guy out, so he didn't have the firepower to get me out of there. But I'm not saying I would have won that doing that the same way in the second fight, but I would have definitely given it a better go that way. But listen, it's heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
A big bloke, 18 stone, lands on your chin, you're going out. But there were definitely things... It feels like the shackles are off me a little bit now because I tried something that wasn't my style, and now I know exactly what I've got to do and how I've got to get better. And that's being super fit. That's not curbing my natural instincts. That is throwing my overhand right. And not worrying about boxing in a pretty style. It's about being effective before being pretty. And that gives me a sense of optimism. Of course, it's gutting to be knocked out. It's gutting to get beat. But I've got a sense of optimism in I know what I am and where I've got to go in this sport and what I can achieve, because I do really believe I can achieve winning a British title and beyond.
So the 2 training camps you went into, you deliberately changed the approach in the second one.
Yeah.
For your next fight, what will you do? Will you go back to it, or will you take bits from both? How will you approach the next one?
I'm going to focus a lot more on drilling certain things, the simple things. It's not about what happened last time, is we changed a lot of stuff that I'm not very good at. To try and box on the back foot. That's not my style, but I can box on the front foot in the next one like I have done for all my previous fights, but do it in a cleaner way, do it with more efficiency, still be defensive when you're on that front foot, because you've still got to look out for certain things. I mean, my footwork's got so much to do. I've got so much potential because I've been getting away on my first 12, 13 fights with being raw, being aggressive, being powerful. But there's so much I've got to drill into myself that I haven't been able to do yet, because I've just relied on being physically big and strong.
You can prepare for a lot of things when you're a boxer. Have you ever been knocked out before?
No.
What's that feeling like? When do you realise in the fight that you can't win it and you are in danger, or do you remember too much about it?
Well, if you remember the first fight, I got knocked down in the 5th round then as well.
Yeah.
But I think because of the way I was conditioned in the first fight, when we was doing our assault bikes, we was doing our watt bike training, and we was measuring things properly and getting things done in that sense, hitting numbers that need to be hit. I really do think the more conditioned you are, the more you can deal with adversity. And this time I just wasn't fit enough, and combine that with a game plan where I'm not putting pressure on the other man. I've not worn the other guy out for the first 4 or 5 rounds. So it's a combination of them 2 things, that if you can be as tough as you want, but if you're not fit, you're not going to get through them dire situations. And even if you are, sometimes it doesn't happen. You can still get knocked out.
When you say fit, describe what you mean by that, because there's so many different levels of fitness. I mean, you know, you can
different types of fitness.
God, when you mean that, what part of you as a professional boxer wasn't enough to get you into the position to go and challenge a bit?
So think about in boxing how many times it's not really a linear training where you're just going the same tempo. There's bits when you're having bursts of energy. So lactate tolerance training, being able to deal with the lactic acid. I was moving around so much in the second fight, and that drained your energy as well. But I remember the first camp for the Saudi fight, I was on that watt bike and doing bursts of 20 seconds, 30 seconds as hard as you can until you're feeling physically sick. And then you're coming off, and then you're going back on it, and then you're coming off and you're going back on it for 5, 6, 7 times. So you're training your body for them really high intense periods. This time I probably sparred double, triple the amount of rounds that I did for the first fight. But that doesn't always mean you're going to hit them points like you can on a watt bike, because you know exactly what you're going to do. So we had a really good system, I think, when we was training in England, and I think when we got to Spain, it's my fault really, because I should have implemented a better structure really within my setup. But everything got sort of moulded into one thing, and we lost track of the quantifiable stuff. Right, okay. And although boxing's an art, and you've got to learn how to box, of course, but the scientific side of it, I look at Fabio Waldi, I look at Joseph Parker, I look at Daniel Dubois. Let's set up their S&C in the background. That's all meant to be the foundational stuff to make you a better boxer. Not to take away from it, where a lot of people think go that way, but your foundations of being an athlete will allow you to be a better boxer, and that's always how I've rolled. And then I changed it all around, and this happened. So that tells me something.
Okay.
Jay's training is similar when he runs for a lift.
No, nice, isn't lovely. So what it is for my dad is when he's running for a Chinese. The sprint comes on. The sprint comes on.
Like so you can't even move against your dad and play your mate. Listen, we were going to keep you for just 15 minutes, but I wanted to talk to you about the fight at the weekend. Can you stay?
Yeah, I can stay.
Is that all right? We'll get you for another 10 minutes. All right, more from the super. Oh, just quickly before we go to. In fact, I'll ask you what you're doing next when we come back. More from Johnny Fisher after this. Johnny Fisher is still with us in the studio. Just quickly, I was going to ask you one question before the break about your career, and then talk about the fight of the weekend. So I'll ask you that quick question. What's next for you? Where do you go from here, Johnny?
I'm just in a little bit of a period, rebuilding a little bit, obviously. Bit of my strength more than anything first, and building that base. But I want to be out in October, November, and we'll go from there. I want to be active. I want to be busy. And listen, this is like a time where I feel optimistic, because I've had the pressure of the really, really big fights of fighting on a Fury Usyk card, headline. I want to rebuild properly and do it properly and be a professional boxer, not just someone who fights now. I'm going to have that fight in me all the time, but it's about perfecting that and being a well-drilled boxer with it. It does
sound like you've come out of this defeat and, you know, had a little bit of deep thinking about your career and about who you are, about who you want to be, and do you feel as though is it a bit of a new beginning for you? That's how it sounds to me.
It is, definitely, and I've said this before when I was on Sky Sports, it's something I don't have to do. But if I'm going to do boxing and I want to perform sport, you don't play boxing, it's a cliche. You can't just do it half-hearted. No. And I'm not saying I've ever done it half-hearted, but it was starting to slip into that sort of mode of, we can skip this bit or do this. Like, no, everything's got to be. It's a really, really hard sport.
I don't doubt for 1 second. You know, because you go in there unprepared.
Yeah,
you can go in there and come. Right? You know,
Listen, we're big fans of yours, and I'm delighted you've come in today and have a chat with us. And we hope you do go on to bigger and better things as well. So, let's move on and talk about the fight of the weekend. But thanks for coming in today and give our regards to your dad as well.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about Dubois against Usyk this weekend. It's live from Wembley Stadium on talkSPORT. It's a big fight. Every time I think about it in great detail, I change my mind as to who's going to win for so many different reasons. First off, how do you see it going?
I fancy Dubois in this fight. I think if he's going to win, it's going to be in the early rounds, from rounds 1 to 6. I look at that body shot in the first fight, and although by the letter of the law it's an illegal shot, I've seen many of them shots given before. I think he's got the maturity now after them 3 wins against Hrgovic, Miller and Joshua. We've seen he's not fazed by the occasion in that last fight with Joshua. I think he can do it, but I've wrote off Usyk before and do it at your peril. So
have you sparred both?
I've only sparred Dubois, and I've sparred him a few times, more earlier on in his career.
What's his power like? Is it insane?
The best. The most immense power I've ever felt when I've sparred someone. His jab is like, I've said it on before, it's like an electric shot going through your body, like a right hand. It's more powerful than most heavyweights' right hands I've faced. So when the backhand comes, you don't want to get more than one or two of them on your chin.
Is he ready to be world champion?
Yeah, I mean, he is world champion.
I know, but to take all the belts,
to be an undisputed heavyweight champion. Yeah. I think this is his time. He's 27-year-old now. He can still come again, of course, but he's got that experience now of them 3 big wins. He's had the taste of defeat. And then look at him when he fought Joe Joyce and he got beat by Joe Joyce. Everyone was writing him off. And now he's fighting for the biggest prize in world sport.
Yeah, we had Adam Smith in about an hour ago talking about that, and he was saying that there's no evidence to suggest that Usyk is on that that downward curve. He can't, he's at the peak of his powers right now, but there will be always that fight that you don't quite do it, and I'm not even sure we see it coming in boxers like that. But right now, Dubois is a better fighter than he was 2 years ago.
Definitely, and talking about Usyk, I think he will know himself when it's time to call it a day, because he'll see it in training. He's not he's not a stupid fella. He'll know from how he's performing in that. But
have you spoke to boxers that have ever got to that stage of their career where it doesn't happen in the fight, but they do feel that things, maybe training, recovery, that sort of thing, that they are on that downward curve?
I've heard of it from just talking colloquially about things like when you hit 30 or a little bit later than the early 30s. Everything becomes a little bit harder, and some talk
not with everyone, Johnny.
Not with everyone. Maybe not you. All right, Andy, you're special. But I think it can happen overnight as well to some people as well. It can happen on the night, and you can believe it, and when you get in the ring, you just can't do it the same as you did it before.
How's it going to finish the fight?
I think I can just see Usyk being stopped by Dubois with the body shot again. I can see it.
Body shot.
Do you think it was a low blow? I've seen photographs that suggest it wasn't.
It was on the
cusp, isn't it?
Isn't it? Right on that.
Have you seen shots like that given before? I have.
Yeah,
loads of times. But they're not being pulled up.
Okay, where is what is a low blow? Because the belt, I mean, you boys have got it up near your.
It's below the navel, they say, so below the belly button.
Right,
is that navel? It's that region, but
you can't see the belly button.
Yeah, so it's a grey area for judges and how.
I would have them right. On my nipples.
It's like Usyk, Fury after he saw Usyk, he was walking around with his shorts up here. But
does it that body shot that in theory would have won the fight? Does it make it more satisfying for a boxer if you finish your opponent with one of those?
I don't think it matters too much. I think the relief of winning and knocking your opponent out, it doesn't really matter if it's a body shot or a head shot. The knockout is what everyone craves, so it's not so much where it is.
They're brutal though, to see that body shot and they take the knee and you just think, you can't even stand up.
No, the body people don't understand how brutal a body shot is until you've had one. And we've all been winded, right?
Johnny's going to perform it on you in a minute. Is that all right, Johnny?
Yeah, that's it. You've got to take your top off for it though as well, so you get proper skin. But yeah,
where's the worst part in the body to be hit?
Probably.
Hold on, I can think of the worst part.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
After that.
Yeah, I think that solar plexus is pretty bad.
Right,
or just in the gut, like in your gut of under your ribs. That's just.
What about the side?
Your liver's being ruptured, basically, isn't it? It's being moved around in your stomach. It's probably bleeding a bit, and sometimes you see of people getting ribs cracked as well, and then they can't breathe properly for the rest of the fight because it's just painful, the air whispering through. So
anyway, enjoy your dinner, everyone.
Yeah, some barbecue spare ribs. Yeah, lovely.
Johnny, listen, I'm really glad you've come in. We absolutely adore you. We always talk hard. We do. Spencer slags you off all the time.
Yeah, nice.
But we love you coming into the studio. We're big fans of yours and your dad as well. Send him out love.
Very much.
And are you going at the weekend? You going to Wembley?
Yeah, I'm going there with Lawrence Dalio. He's just invited me and my dad to go along.
How nice would that be? How do you know him? Are you big rugby fans?
We're big rugby fans. We're following the Lions obviously now, and England of course, and I can't wait to meet him. I've never met Lawrence before.
He's a big Chelsea fan as well. I know Lawrence. Yeah, Club World Champions. Don't just.
Yeah. You are to be fair. The fact you've got to say it.
You're not Chelsea, yeah?
No, I'm not Chelsea. I like Leighton Orient.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Leighton Orient.
Nice.
Brisbane Road, actually.
Do you go there a lot?
No.
Okay,
so I'm not like a massive fan, but I like
maybe Lawrence Dalio would take you. Listen, thank you again for coming. Good luck with your career. I hope you're definitely going to get a fight. It sounds like this year, October, September.
We're back.
So that'd be great. Good.
Good.
Yeah, great. Really pleased you come in.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.